Hi everyone, my name is Sean Brown. I am one of the Residence Life Coordinators, and today in this module we are talking about duty procedures. This has a couple of different aspects, so if you're talking specifically about the requirements and expectations when you're on your nightly duty, how you'll interact with duty phones, some of the different things to keep an eye out for, and just some general tips and tricks to hopefully answer any questions you may have about duty. So we're going to be jumping in and talking about duty procedures in general. So your duty nights are going to begin at 8 p.m. on weeknights and 10 p.m. on weekends. Weeknights are defined as Sunday through Thursday, and weekends are defined as Friday and Saturday. Duty phone will be doing check-ins where they'll radio out on the walkie and say, please call in starting at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. on weeknights and 10 p.m. on weekends. Please be patient with them. There's going to be a lot of people calling in all at once, so if you get a busy dial, hang up, wait a couple of seconds, and then try again. That way you can give some time to clear out the system in case someone's on the line with them currently. You will need to be in the building from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. on weeknights and 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends. This is just to make sure that we have someone in every area of the building who can respond to questions, concerns, incidents, whatever comes up, and be able to offer the best assistance to our residents in the halls. So duty phone, as I mentioned before, we'll be doing our initial phone, call-in check-in at the beginning of the night. About half an hour later, at 9:30 on weeknights and 10:30 on weekends, they'll be doing a radio check, and then they'll be doing secondary ones at 10 p.m. on weeknights and midnight and 2 a.m. on weekends. This is just to make sure that radios continue to function smoothly. They'll just basically run through the list and ask every RA to just check in with them really quickly on the radio. It makes sure that every RA is still present and available in case of an emergency. Make sure no one's fallen asleep. Make sure that basically we can get a hold of anyone we may need to throughout the night. And so unless you're on a round, staff will require, unless you're on a round or in the middle of dealing with something that either pro staff on call or duty phone has asked you to help out with, you should be in or around your rooms throughout this time. That way it ensures your accessibility to your students, quick response time to wherever you need to be at, and it makes sure that you're close to a radio so that you can be contacted in the event of an emergency or just a general need. So you're expected to be present and reachable during this entire time. This is an amazing opportunity to connect with your students. I had a lot of fun when I was an RA, doing staff traditions when I was on duty. We do board game nights, we do TV shows, we do any number of things. Stuff that can be stopped in case you get a call, but basically just being a part of the community is really important during this time, so that way people know that you're there, you're reachable if anything comes up. And being reachable by duty phone is also really important, because if something does come up, they're going to be either calling you on the phone or radioing you to try and get your attention and get you to respond to what you need to. So making sure you have those ways of communication open to you at all times is expected. You're expected to maintain clear and constant communication with duty phones. So what this means is you're providing appropriate amounts of detail, ready to answer your questions they may have, speaking slowly and deliberately if you're giving a report or reporting a situation, and just generally making sure that they are in the loop. Duty phone does act as kind of the master, they act as almost dispatch for our RA team. They contact public safety and professional staff on call, and it's really important for people who are up the chain to be able to get clear information from duty phone, which means that you need to be able to give duty phone clear information. And this also means checking with them regularly should you have issues that are coming up throughout the night. An important thing to remember is that you are the primary responder during crisis situations. You will almost always be public safety or the professional staff on call there, so getting into the situation, taking notes from the get-go, assessing for risks and hazards, and just generally kind of helping to de-escalate the situation as much as you're able to is really important. And then once public safety or professional staff is there, normally they'll give you some instructions about how to help with crowd control. And even if they don't give you instructions, playing kind of crowd control really involves making sure students aren't standing around in a big huddle, looking at what's going on. Students get curious, and so they will try and, as hard as they can, kind of observe what's happening in the emergency, and so making sure that they're moving along, no one's crowding, public safety or professional staff is really important. So next we're going to chat about your duty attire. This is what you're going to be expected to wear while you're on call, and basically just kind of a quick rundown of how to look professional and really show that you are there if people need you. As you can see, Blizzard did demo for us a lovely duty attire outfit. So the first thing is really making sure that you have that tech polo or shirt on. We ask that you have one of these so that you are clearly recognizable as someone who is around and knows what's going on. We do allow for shirts because we recognize it gets hot, it's late, you want to be comfortable, but we do require that it's an appropriate shirt. So, nothing too revealing, nothing too, no workout shirts where may have taken a tech shirt and cut big holes in the armpits, that you'd wear while weightlifting or anything like that. Having your staff badge on you always is a must. This shows that you are a staff member and you are someone who can be contacted in case of an emergency. It also gives you access to keys and buildings, so it's a very important thing to carry with you on rounds. Closed-toed shoes for your own protection. Sometimes when you're on call, it's easy to stub a foot. It's easy to open the door just a little too quickly and jam your toe, so making sure you have those closed-toed shoes on is a requirement as well. Jeans, khakis, or appropriate shorts. Again, the key emphasis is on appropriate. I recommend jeans or khakis. You never know what you're going to run into or have to clean up while on rounds, and so having something that's going to protect your legs so you don't get anything nasty spilled on them is something I value. If you choose to wear shorts, go ahead. I know it gets hot on rounds, but just make sure that you recognize the risks when you choose to wear shorts. Something to keep track of time. This is just helping you to kind of monitor when you need to be on rounds, when you need to be checking what duty found, and all those other good things. So that could be a phone or a watch, depending on what you prefer to keep track of time with. And then finally, something to take notes on and with. So, a pen and a notepad. This helps you in the event of a incident or anything that you may need to take notes on to kind of track what you did, when it happened, where it happened, who's involved, all that good stuff. And taking thorough notes is very important because that'll help you with your report writing later. So we're going to look at duty rounds for this next piece. We have a helpful little video in one of the other modules, that's going to give you kind of a little view of what duty looks like. But this is a cool little opportunity to just see what happens on duty. So on weeknights, your rounds will take place between 9 p.m. and midnight, with rounds happening hourly. A key note with all rounds is you must remain awake during the hours of rounds. I know that there are some people who, when they go to sleep, they are out for the entirety of the time that they're asleep, and so we ask that everyone remains awake because we want to make sure that you're clear-minded and ready to go. You are expected to have either your phone or your walkie, or both, preferably both, on and loud enough that they will wake you up out of a sleep, because you are still with the person who will be called after midnight should anything come up. So making sure that you have something set up so that it'll wake you up is very important. If you're a heavy sleeper, make sure you're taking those precautions ahead of time. Weekends, the rounds take place between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. So if you're someone who likes to go to bed early, make sure that you have either taken a nap earlier, and you have enough caffeine to get you through those late nights. We know that they're late, but we choose these ranges of hours based on when students most commonly call in with requests, questions, concerns, emergencies that they may need help with. So rounds consist of walking through your duty area and checking all common spaces and stairwells. This means going into those spaces and really looking around to make sure that there's no issues, no concerning pieces. You're checking fire equipment in some of your common areas. You're checking external doors that may be in the stairwells, and really looking at these external doors, especially during winter when snow builds up, and maybe keeping the door open. If that does happen, please make sure that you are, if you can, clearing it out, otherwise calling to report it so that we can get somebody out there to clear out the door. Your staff key should be with you at all times. So this is your key that has like the breaker box key on it, access to any custodial rooms or storage rooms, and really just small things that you may run into on rounds. You will have access to a master key from KeyWatcher. We will go through where those key watchers are in each of your buildings during your time here during training. And these keys will really help you out when you're having to deal with a lockout or emergency. In KeyWatcher, it'll give you a little prompt about why you got the key out. Make sure you're answering that, as well as filling out the lockout form, so that way no one ever goes into the system and looks and says, why did this RA get out this key? It really just serves to protect you, because these keys do let you into a lot of places, and we want to make sure that we're showing that we're using them appropriately. And then finally, making sure that you're reporting all incidents to Duty Phone. This is really important, because while you may see something as relatively minor, it may be something that Duty Phone is aware of has been going on for the last couple nights, or be aware of that has been happening even during that night that you may not have been the person to deal with. And so just keeping them in the loop and reporting all those incidents to them will help them see the bigger picture if there are issues going on within our community. So round logs should be filled out at the end of each night by each RA on duty. So that means if you're in WADS and there's 2 other RAs on duty for other floors, you need to be filling out your own. These need to be professional. Multiple people can take a look at these, and they have been pulled for higher up reasons before, when there's been an incident or something high, it's highly contentious or just really important. And so really making sure that you're providing clear information. Don't use residents' names or room numbers. So you can put, 2 students were being loud in Powerhouse, and you ask them to quiet down. Your incident reports, which we'll talk about later, are going to be your place to include resident names and room numbers, if it's important enough, or it requires an actual incident report. So you're going to have a radio on you during the entirety of your time on rounds. Students can and do listen to these because they are on a public channel. Make sure that you are being professional and private. Students, they just enjoy kind of knowing what's going on, and so never, ever, ever, ever discuss specific information about a person, a place, or a situation. Always make sure that you're being appropriate. The best way to do it, if you have something that's a little bit longer and you need an RA to come and help you, or you need to alert Duty Phone to something, is to say A1 to A78. Can you please call Duty Phone, for example? It's each phone or each duty area is marked with a number, and you'll learn those as you're learning more about rounds. And so, utilizing that and utilizing your phone to contact Duty Phone specifically is helpful. And whenever you're discussing sensitive information, I recommend calling Duty Phone. It's just easier. You don't have to worry about, not providing too much information over the walkie, and it just gets the information across in a quicker, more efficient way. So that's everything I have for you today in terms of duty procedures. We will be touching more on this during training if you have any extra questions, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching this today, and I hope you have a great afternoon.